Since 1967, we dey operate as volunteers. We dey go from places to places, carrying our functions voluntarily. Like play, God don't do it.
We salute the courage of our founding fathers. They fought for the hearts that established civil defense. Today in Nigeria, we are mandated by the heart to maintain peace, law and order.
Everybody come and see,
They could not come see. Level don't change, Kukuru defense. Siwani
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
The issues.
Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retire without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Hussein cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that?
He said money was...
I never...
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow Insight returns with another interesting
of the experience.
Oh yeah, oh my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top make we talk am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Your problem make we join up. Your problem is my problem.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. This still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja, and this is where we open the phone lines for your interaction. You can call us on 0903 2229 That's 0903 2229 You can also call us on 0818 222205 or 0818-222206. Don't forget, you can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of the numbers, and we will read your message. Just let us know where you are writing in from. So, we start off from the Nation newspaper, where we look at some of the stories in details. And the Nation has this headline, which is in virtually all the other papers. Tinubu fires 5 ministers in major cabinet reshuffle. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday fired 5 ministers and nominated 7 in the first major shake-up of his cabinet 14 months ago. Out of the Federal Executive Council are Uju Ken, Women Affairs Minister Lola Ade John, former Minister of Tourism, Professor Tai Mohammed Essien, former Minister of Education, Abdullahi Gwazo, former Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, and Dr. Jamila Ibrahim, former Minister of Development. 5 of them are out of the cabinet. Ohaniye attended yesterday's FEC meeting, which turned out to be her last. Nominated for ministerial positions are Dr. Natemwe Iwada, who is a Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction Minister. Mohammed Dingaji is now the Minister of Labor and Employment. And Bianca Odumego Ejuku, she is now the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. And Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, now Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment. Others are Ide Mukhtar Meina, Minister for Livestock Development, Yusuf Atta, Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, and Dr. Shuaiba Ahmad, Minister of State for Education. Ms. Bianca Ojukwu, a former ambassador to Spain, is a prominent member of the All Progressives Grand Alliance. If cleared the former beauty queen and wife of the late Dim Emek, the Federal Executive Council, to 2. The Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, is a member of the People's Democratic Party. The positions of Minister of State, Youth, Minister of State, Police Affairs, and Minister of State, Steel Development may have been scrapped. But offices of Minister of State Finance and Minister of State Works were created. A minister was appointed for the newly created Ministry of Livestock Development. The appointment of a minister for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation effectively put paid to the return of Dr. Betta Edu. The President announced 8 far-reaching actions to reinvigorate the administration's capacity for optimal efficiency. The Ministry of Niger Delta Development was renamed the Ministry of Regional Development to oversee the activities of all the regional development commissions. There are the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Southeast Development Commission, the Northeast Development Commission, the Southwest Development Commission, and the Northwest Development Commission. The Ministry of Sport Development was wound up with its functions transferred to the National Sports Commission. And the Federal Ministry of Tourism was merged with the Ministry of Art and Culture to become the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy. President Tinubu reassigned the portfolios of 10 ministers. The 7 ministers' names are to be sent to the Senate for confirmation. He named Dr. Shehu Diko as chairman of the National Sports Commission and appointed Sunday Dare as Special Advisor on Public Communication and Orientation. The former sports minister will work with Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris. Those reassigned portfolios are Minister of State for Education Dr. Yusuf Sonono, who is now Minister of State, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Minister of State for Health Dr. Morufolu Lausa, who becomes Minister of Education, and Minister of State, Water Resources and Sanitation Bello Goronyo, now named Minister of State for Works. Minister of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, will head the new Ministry of Regional Development, while Minister of State Steel Development, Uba Ahmad Madu, will assist Momo as the Minister of State for regional development. Former commissioners for finance in Imo State, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, a medical doctor turned banker who was Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, is the new Minister of State for Finance. The Minister of Sport Development, Senator John Eno, is now the Minister of State for Trade and Investment. As for Minister of State Police Affairs, Imana Sulaiman Ibrahim takes over as Minister of Women Affairs. Ayodele Olawande, formerly Minister of State for Youth Development, takes over Youth Development, while Minister of State Environment Dr. Salako Adeboye is the Minister of State for Health. All the other ministers retain their portfolio. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga said President Tinubu thanked the outgoing members of the Federal Executive Council for their services to the nation while wishing them the best in their future endeavors. So that's it. Tinubu fires 5 ministers in major cabinet reshuffle. All right, still staying with the Nation newspaper, Attorney General in trouble over state suit against EFCC. The Benue State Governor, Reverend Hyacinth Alea, has directed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Bamshin Yin, to proceed on indefinite suspension. The governor gave the directive yesterday during a news conference shortly after the State Executive Council meeting. According to him, the suspension was necessitated by Minyim's ultra-virus decision to join the state in a suit challenging the legality of anti-graft agencies, namely the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission. He said no appointee is permitted to act unilaterally. No matter how pressing or urgent the issue is, one must resort to due consultations with him, that's the governor, or appropriately brief him and seek his permission before acting, especially in a sensitive matter such as this. The quote continues, "My administration is holding accountable those who embezzle money and drain our state dry. The FCC and ICPC are assisting us in this effort." All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper now. IMF tasks Nigeria, other African governments on fiscal reforms and e-governance. The International Monetary Fund yesterday urged African governments to transform public service delivery through technologically driven governance, even as it called for speedy fiscal reforms. It also worried that the extremely low revenue to output ratio is hampering Nigeria's ability to invest in development and manage debt sustainably. The director of the IMF Fiscal Affairs Department, Victor Gaspar, made the call at a press briefing to launch the updated fiscal monitor at the ongoing IMF World Bank annual meetings being held in Washington, D.C., the United States. He emphasized that delaying necessary fiscal adjustment in the region could hinder development and escalate public debt levels. All right, 50,000 applications disburses 10 billion naira in student loan. The managing director and chief executive officer of the Nigerian Educational Loan Fund, Akintunde Soya, yesterday said the fund has received over 350,000 applications and disbursed over 10 billion naira so far, with a commitment to disburse 90 billion naira in tuition fees and stipends. He also said the scheme was inclusive and not discriminatory in its disbursement. He made this known at a maiden meeting with the House of Representatives Committee on Students' Loans, Scholarship and Higher Education Financing at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. Sanya said the scheme was inclusive, ensuring that every Nigerian, regardless of location or background, has access to the education they deserve. He said the fund had also been proactive in reaching out to segments of the nation that feel left out, particularly the Southeast. He said significant progress had been made in engaging these communities with series of sensitization in the region, resulting in a surge in applications. Alright, it's still in the Super Review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. The phone lines are still open. You can call us on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 2222206. And still staying with the Guardian newspaper, 14 million Nigerians risk mental health disorders over substance abuse. Concerns are growing over the impact of psychoactive substance abuse on youth population, which could affect mental health, wellness, and the economy of the country. Statistics show that the drug use in Nigeria is estimated at 14%, or 14.3 million people aged between 15 and 64 years, according to a survey by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes and the National Bureau of Statistics. The report stated that 1 in 7 persons in Nigeria is involved in psychoactive substance abuse, pegging the age range for prevalence group between 15 and 64 years, with 1 out of every 4 drug users being a woman. Mental health professionals and practitioners have said that the consumption of illicit substances, including cannabis, opioid, addictive cough syrup, tranquilizers, ecstasy, solvents and inhalants, and cocaine is leaving in its wake individuals with mental disorders and other health implications. Alright, still staying with the Guardian, federal government withdraws suit against Binance employee. And the story has it that the Federal High Court in Abuja, presided over by Justice Emeka Witi, yesterday ordered the release of the detained Binance Holding Limited executive, Tigran Gambarayan, from Kuje Correctional Center. The court gave the order after the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Council informed the court of the decision of the federal government to withdraw the charge against him. Dagba, who held the brief for the FCC, premised the decision on Gambarayan's deteriorating health and diplomatic intervention. Gambarayan, who was again not in court, was the second defendant in the charge preferred against the cryptocurrency platform by EFCC. All right, back to the Punch newspaper here now. We have the story. Canadian lady jailed 11 years for importing 35 kg cannabis. And the story has it that the Federal High Court in Lagos on Wednesday convicted and sentenced a 41-year-old Canadian lady, Andreni Monjo, to 11 years imprisonment for importing 35.20 kilograms of Canadian loud into Nigeria. Justice Dende Dikpeolu, who handed down the verdict, also gave her an option of 100 million naira fine on the 2-count charge preferred against her by the NDLEA. The judge convicted and sentenced Monjo following a plea of guilt on the 2 counts. Earlier, when the convict was arraigned, the NDLA prosecutor, Abu Ibrahim, told the court that Monjo, without lawful authority, imported 35 kilograms of cannabis sativa, otherwise known as Canadian loud, into Nigeria. All right, still staying with the Punch newspaper. 12 states delay 30,000 naira minimum wage for teachers. 12 states of the Federation are yet to implement the 2019 minimum wage of 30,000 naira for teachers. Data from the National Union of Teachers showed that although some states implemented the 2019 minimum wage, it was not fully implemented for teachers at primary school levels. The affected states where the wage was not yet implemented for teachers generally are Abia, Adamawa, Benue, Cross River, Gombe, Imo, Kogi, Niger, Sokoto, Taraba, Bauchi, and Zamfara. The data, however, showed that in the states of Anambra, Bayelsa, Borno, Delta, Enugu, Jigawa, Kaduna, Nasarawa, and Yobe, the minimum wage was not implemented for teachers in primary schools. In May 2024, the Nigerian Labour Congress in Zamfara State accused the state government of paying teachers the sum of 8,000 naira monthly. The Abia state government was also accused of failure to implement the minimum wage for not just for teachers but also for other workers in the state. All right, still staying with the Punch newspaper, federal government, that's the Federal Executive Council, has approved $618 million for fighter jets and ammunition. As FEC has approved a loan of about $618 million from a group of financiers for the procurement of 6 fighter aircraft and ammunition for the Nigerian Air Force. This was disclosed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in Abuja, following the conclusion of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu. Also on Wednesday, the Federal Executive Council approved 740 billion naira for the Bega stretch of the Abuja-Kano route, among other high-profile roads. Idris, who stood in for the Minister of Finance and coordinating Minister of the Economy, said from the Honorable Minister of Finance, who is away on official duties in the United States, I'm going to let you know those what the FEC approvals are. The first one is that there have been approvals for some contracts, about 7 of them for the Nigerian Customs Service. The next one is that there is an approval for an agreement for the elimination of double taxation with respect to taxes on income and prevention of tax evasion and avoidance between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper now. Reps, aides, staff flee NAS building over fire outbreak. The Nigerian Tribune correspondent, we have some members of the House of Representatives and their legislative aides abruptly shut down their offices located in the White House, part of the National Assembly complex on Wednesday, following a fire outbreak which occurred around 3:50 p.m. The Nigerian Tribune correspondent who visited the scene of the inferno confirmed that the fire outbreak occurred in room 352, electrical panel room, located on the 3rd floor of the new building. Amidst pandemonium that broke out, officers of the Federal Service located within the complex deployed their expertise to gain access to the room, which is usually locked by the electrical department. In a bid to curtail the inferno, the electrical connection across the new building were shut down, including the lifts. right, Daily Trust is next now, and climate policies must not write off livestock. And this is a story from Daily Trust. Livestock are vital component of both African food system and rural livelihood. Africa has around 400 million cattle alone, and the livestock sector accounts for a significant 30 to 40% of the total agricultural gross domestic product across the nation. Assisting with Daily Trust, diphtheria kills 1,191 persons in 17 months. This is according to the NCDC. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control said yesterday that no fewer than 1,191 people have been killed by diphtheria from May 2023 to date across Nigeria. Dr. Muzamil Kanaya, the incident manager, National Diphtheria Emergency Operations Center, disclosed this in Kaduna during the National Intra-Action Review meeting of diphtheria outbreak. He said the country recorded suspected cases of more than 38,000 people, while the number of confirmed cases stood at 23,000. Kanaya said the primary focus of the review meeting was to assess Nigeria's current response mechanism and strengthen coordination efforts to prevent further spread of the disease. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. Our final paper for today. Obasanjo Danjuma decry dwindling quality of leadership in Nigeria. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo and ex-Chief of Army Staff General T.Y. Danjuma have decried the dwindling quality and standard of leadership in Nigeria. The two statesmen spoke when members of the League of Northern Democrats paid them courtesy visits in Abeokuta and Lagos respectively. While Obasanjo promised to be the patron of the group, asking it to expand its operation to include the rest of Nigeria, Danjuma challenged those currently in public office to look beyond themselves and take immediate steps to stem the tide of poor leadership to leave behind a nation for future generations to inherit. Leader of the group and former governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekarau, had informed Obasanjo that the group was with him to tap from his wealth of experience in governance and leadership. The former president noted that with the caliber of membership of the delegation, he was confident something good will come out of it. All right, staying with the Vanguard newspaper, Edo confirms plans to raise VAT to 15%, limits increase to luxury goods. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edo, has confirmed that the federal government plans to raise value-added tax to 15%, but clarified that the increase would primarily affect luxury goods. Speaking at an investor meeting during the ongoing IMF World Bank annual meetings in Washington, he explained that a bill currently before the National Assembly aims to gradually raise VAT on luxury goods, which essential items consumed by poorer and vulnerable Nigerians will remain exempt from VAT or attract a zero rate. All right, diaspora Nigerians to get BVN. This is according to the CBN governor. Nigerians in diaspora will be able to get their bank verification number before the end of this year. The governor of the central bank disclosed this at a meeting with Nigerian communities in Washington yesterday on the sideline of the ongoing annual general meetings of the World Bank Group. He said that the initiative to be driven by the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System would boost diaspora remittances as well as assist Nigerians abroad to participate more actively in the Nigerian economy. The CBN boss also met with international investors where he explained the current monetary policy reforms and urged them to take advantage of the attractive economy to invest in Nigeria. Well, that's all we can take on the program today, and it's a proper place to end the show today. We still have tomorrow where we will draw the line for the week. So let's have a beautiful day. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.